Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Alright, today we're going to do a short video on how to do a couch restoration on a party barge. It'll be a short version, show you a little step-by-step type thing, and we'll see if you like the videos, and if you do, we'll try to do a few more. Alright, let's take a look at what we got here. And alright guys, I've already been working on this guy's boat, but this is the last of the lean back. The upper portion of the lean back is here. Material's all dry. Hear it? We've got bad spots here, seams ripping. It's just all dried out from the sun. Even down here, it's not real soft. So basically, that's what I call the lean back on the couch. Then you got the box, and I've already got the box done that this lean back fits on. But the box is also was also dry and had bad material on it, so I stripped it all off. And this is what it looks like from behind the box. Okay, you notice the material only goes to here. Now there are some boats I work on that the material covers the whole box. Okay, and if you look here, the back, the lean back, it doesn't go all the way to the bottom. Now you can get away with that because you've got a high back that comes up and covers all that right here, the back of the boat. The railing goes here, and this is all covered and they don't see it. But some of them, you have to do it because they'll have a gap in between the railings, two different railings, and you'll need to have that material there so they can see it. So some boats you have to do. Loud car. Sorry guys, I live in a busy area. Alright, so the whole back of the couch isn't all the way down, so that saves you material. Now here's what I finish on here. Just about finished with it. Got one more seat to do, but I've got the lean back with the cup holder in place and the box lean. That's the box lean back. Lean back, box. Of course, you got your cushions, the corner cushion, box cushion. These open up, so you got storage. So that's all been stripped off and re-sewn and put back on. Almost ready to go back to the guy, the client. Alright, now this is the one we're going to be working on today. I've got already one tore apart. I'll explain that when we get in there. So, let's see if we can get this started. Okay guys, now we're back in the shop. This is the skin off of the lean back that I just finished. Now, it sits on one side of the boat, and the other lean back sits on the other side of the boat. But they're matching lean backs. Everything matches. But the problem is, when you go to cut patterns for the other side, you've either got to strip it all down, and that takes time, taking it all apart. And then you got to staple it all down like I see here with the face down, bottom up. I've got it marked, and I'll show you a little bit about that. But I'm using the same pattern off the previous seat, but I'm going to flip everything over. Flip it over. So by doing that, I'm just reversing everything that will fit on that other seat that I have sitting out there without having to strip it all down and use that seat for that pattern. I can use this one by flipping it all over, putting all my marks where they're supposed to be, but do it without have to look underneath. But it keeps you a lot of time to have to do that, to strip down a seat and then staple it all out and mark it. So, alright. So what we're going to do is I'm going to staple down all the corners. I'm going to come back in with my trusty ruler, go along the edges and mark along with pencil along the edge. Okay, and then we've got our little marks here, manufacturer marks there. They help you line up stuff. You line up this piece to the next piece that matches. I've got it marked 23, here's 23 here, and here's the 3 marks. And they got the 3 marks right here. Boom, boom, boom. These two will match up, or these 3 will match up with these 3, and that means that your pieces will sew out from corner to corner and not be, unless you add material on the back side of it, will not be out of whack. You'll be lined up and where it should be. I've got them marked so I know that 23 will match up to 23. 24 matches up. I got 24 over here somewhere. I think it's over here. Yeah, I've got 24 here. So these two pieces will be sewn here together because they match up, and I'll match up. They also have marks on them. Some of them will have the little divot, I call it, with a V shape. That one doesn't. Okay, well, all right. I don't know why it doesn't. The center piece. Okay, then you got your end caps and the rest of the flaps that go around. When I do them, I usually add a little bit more material here to give me a little, grab something stretch. I can always cut it off if it's too long, and that's how we do that. So I'll flip this over, we'll staple everything down, I'll mark the material and everything I need to mark, and then I'll bring the camera back on and we'll let you see what I got. We'll cut out the material and then we'll go sew it. Alright guys, that's 2 yards of material to do that lean back on that couch. I did a total of 35 yards is what I've had to order for this project. That's counting captain's chairs, big old box lean backs, and then the couch lean backs. So yeah, a little bit of time consuming, labor intense for sure. Alright guys, we'll get to the next phase. Okay guys, just finishing stapling up on this piece. As you spread it out and staple it down, I spread the material out. You'll have places that will get soft, stretched out, like here, here. Don't worry about that. Go with what you, even up here, this is stretched out. Go with what your seam lines are here. Follow these. These will be the true size of your pattern. And I go and I spread it all out. Hit a staple there. Pull it good and tight. Now you'll have pieces where it will come loose, not a big deal. I normally, if it's an issue with me, lay it down flat, put a staple in it to hold it while you stretch it out. Okay, I've got my ruler. We're going to do a quick sketch of everything. So you basically will set your ruler. We'll start here with this piece here. I'll just set it and mash the material down. I use a number 2 pencil. And you just follow the pattern. Get to the end. And you go all the way down the side of the material. Okay, get down to the end of the material. I'll mark where the stitch stops. Anything below that is extra material, so I'll mark it as extra, so I might have something to pull with if I need to. Alright, so that's basically, you'll do that to all the pieces. I've got them all stapled down so they don't move. Then I'll go along and where the little divots are, cut in there. Those are the line-up marks. I'll take my pencil and I'll mark each one where they're at. Okay? I'll do that all the way around it. They've got them all sides. This will help you line everything up when you go to stitch it. You pin on those little marks is what I do. I'll mark it and I'll pin it. That way when I'm stitching, if I need to stretch it a little bit, that pin will all hold it in place and I can stretch it and slow it right down tight and look good. So that's what I'll do with a whole group of these. Once I get them stitched out and marked, I'll turn the camera back on, let you see it, and we'll cut the patterns out. I'll show you a little bit of the cutting. And hopefully we'll make it to the sewing stage. Okay guys, see you. Alright guys, all the pieces are cut. ready to do the sew. I got all my numbers still there, my pinning points, the centering points. That will definitely help you a lot on lining everything back up when you go to sew it back up. Alright, so let's go, and our next step will be to start sewing it all together. Now, it takes quite a bit of time to take it off the seat, strip it all down with a razor blade, cut all the threads, take all the pieces apart. You're looking at about 4 to 5 hours to do that on a big seat like I'm doing. A little bit of time, labor intense. And then you got, once you get the stripping, then you got to lay out all the patterns, staple them all down, then you get to cut them. That takes a couple more hours there. So, well, by the end of the day, you're going to have at least 15 hours worth of work in the boat seat. That's just in doing the lean back. And you've got 4 of the seats just like that. So, a lot of work goes into it. That's why it's expensive to get it done. Alright guys, we'll start sewing. Okay guys, once we got everything cut out, got everything marked, numbered, now it's time to sew it all together. So the first piece I'm going to sew, I just randomly picked number 23 and 23. Match them up. My marks line up on that side. You'll make sure your edges are straight. When you sew the 2 pieces together, your edges are right there straight. Alright, so we're going to sew down and leave enough room to flip it over to do a top stitch on it. So, and we do this for every piece. Right. And that's what you do for all the pieces. We sew the next piece onto where 25 says 25, you sew it. Where 24 says 24 together, you sew them together. And I'll show you what we have once we finish sewing everything together. Okay guys, got it all sewn up and put on, as far as just to show you how it fit. Now what I did was I took this pattern, which is completely opposite direction than that one. I took the one I had for this pattern and just flipped it upside down and cut everything out upside down and marked it as it was. Then I sewed it all up, and this is what happens. I was able to make this side of the boat and not have to tear it apart and use that for a pattern. Okay, I've got all my top stitching in, and I'm fixing to sew up the whole bottom piece now, where the cup holder is and all that. Because here's what it looks like. It's still got the material on it. I still got to put the welt on it, which is a dark little line there that runs all in the crack. That's called the welt. I'll have to make some of that, and I've got the stuff to do it. And we're halfway there. Once I make the bottom piece, put it together, then we'll tear all this off, and then I'll put this piece onto that piece, and I'll be able to, once I finish that, put that onto the box, and then take it to the client, and hopefully we'll get started on the captain's chairs, because that's about the only thing I got left after I finish this. Alright guys, once I get the bottom piece sewn up, I'll show you it sewn up, and then I'll put both pieces together. And then our next step is to take the old dead skin off of this and put our new one on it. So hopefully this will continue to go, and we'll get through this. And y'all can see what it takes, a real quick run through of what it takes to do a reupholstery a couch on a party barge. Alright guys. Okay guys, here's the lower half of the lean back for the couch. I've already got it stretched out, stapled down, and on the reverse side. Remember, we're doing the opposite side of what this pattern was for, so we reverse it to make it fit. So, I've got it all stapled down. I'm fixing to mark all the material, and then we'll cut it out, and then we'll be ready to sew it up. Okay guys, now get back. We've got it all drawn out, all the bottom piece. Drawn out, marked and numbered. Now the next thing to do is cut it all out, and then we'll go sew it all up. Okay guys, we got the skin sewed up, top and bottom together. We're going to take the old skin off and put the new one on. Behind the box here, we only got a half a box, so we'll pull all these staples. You can do it 2 or 3 different ways. Let's say you can pull all the staples by hand, or you can stick a screwdriver in here and start pulling them up. That way they'll come up out of the plastic pretty easy sometimes, or you can just cut it right across here with a razor blade, and come back over and staple over all this that you didn't take off. Or you can take a wheel grinder, and grind all that off. Either or, it's got to come off. Now, right here, 2 screws from the bottom holds it on. You've got 2 rubber, what I call Christmas trees, or inserts, panel inserts that lock it up into place here. You'll pull those loose, take the screws loose, and this will just pull out. It's kind of hard because it's tucked up in there, but you can get it out. Then we'll pull the top piece off, we'll pull the bottom piece off, and then there's a tie down that runs across all the way around here that tucks down the welt. Give it a little 3-dimensional effect here instead of being just solid. Really looks good. I'll show you what the tie down looks like when I get it down to that point. Alright guys, I'll get back with you. Okay guys, real quick, just to show you the screwdriver in process. You just lift up and it pulls the staples loose. Now I'm dealing with plastic, and the staples are pretty good sized staples, but they pretty well pull right out of the plastic backing, and that keeps me from having to pull them or cut the material. I can pull it out with a screwdriver on the plastic ones. Wood ones are a little bit harder, but hey, just a little glimpse of how it's done. Okay guys, I finally got the cup holder out. It's pretty easy. You have 2 of these screws go up through the bottom here and here to secure it. You have what I call, these are called Christmas trees. Got 2 of those, and they fit into holes that are up in here. I'll show it to you when I lay it over. But that's what the cup holder looks like out of the unit, or the couch. Okay, so I've taken this off. This is the top. Now, the tie down is underneath this, and it's facing this side, not that side. If it was facing that side, I'd have to take this foam off to get to the staples to pull loose, but it's facing this side, so I'll have to take this piece of foam off, and it's glued on. So we're going to be using a putty knife, and they've got seams already in it. There's a seam here that I can tear and cut across, and this whole piece will come off, and then the tie down will be down along the top side here. We'll take a look at that. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this piece off, and then I'll bring you back to the tie down. Alright, I got this piece, was able to get it off. Had to take a putty knife, scrape all that because it's glued on. Okay, this is your tie down right here. Runs along here. And it does the welt, goes across here. It's what pulls your welt tight, gives it that nice look all the way around. You got to staple it up real good because there's a lot of pressure on that there. So my next thing to do is to pull all this loose, and I'm going to reuse this because it's still good material. It's almost brand new, and I don't have to cut one. It's already here. I just take it off and put it onto the other one, and you see where they got a line showing you where to basically line it up and staple it down, so you get the same distance from here to here that you had before you took it off. When you put the new one on, it will go back nice and snug there and look good, hopefully. I got faith, but alright, so I'm going to pull all this off. I'm going to take it, cut it off from this old seat, and I'm going to put it onto the new one. Then we'll come back and I'll staple it all on, and then I'll show you what it looks like when I get it stapled on, and then we'll finish doing the seat. Alright guys, see you in a few minutes. Alright, finally got the tie down done. I went ahead and secured the tie down on this upper section. I'll show you, this is just the outside. See the little groove? It's all even all the way across, same depth from here to here. That's what you want. Okay, now here's what the tie down looks like. Nice and tight, back to where it was with the factory. Here, there. Okay, so now all I got to do is tighten up the bottom here and staple all that down. Throw that piece of foam up here, pull the material over, pull it tight and staple it down. Alright, I'll let you see the end result, I hope. Alright guys, now I'm going to tell you how to put the lean back onto the box. Some of y'all may not know how they come on or off, but I'll give you a quick little brief on it. Majority of the time, the boxes are secured to the floor with wooden screws. On average, that's pretty well what you run into. There's a few times that they've replaced the bottom of the boat with a fiberglass shell, and you end up having to use bolts and nuts to secure your seat to the floor. But these had wood screws, and I'm going to show you the lean back, how many screws are in that, and then show you the box on how many screws are there. Okay, the lean back. You've got a screw here, 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 and that's what kind of screw you'll be putting back into it. Now these have a bottom to it, so you have only one size of screw that will fit. Anything any longer won't run up good and tight. It will hit a bottom out on the little metal piece that's in there for the threads. Then we got them here, here, and here. So you got quite a few bolts and washers to use. Now the washers are to keep this bolt from coming through the hole, okay? Because that little head definitely would not stop it from going through. So they all come with bolt washers, and on this model you can get to them from the back of the seat, okay? A lot of them, older models, you can get to them from inside the box by reaching up under here. Now these are the same. These that are here, from here back you'll have, no? Okay, it's here back that you have to work in the box to put the bolts in, and you can still go from the outside to put these in. Okay. Well, that's what it is. You'll set the top up here, you'll crawl down in the box, you'll run the screw up through the hole, and hopefully made it up to that hole, run the screw in, run it tight, and you're done. You do it all the way across, and the lean back secured on the box. Then the box ready to go back into the boat. Alright guys, that was just a quick brief on how to do that. Alright guys, got it on, nice and secure. Got the other one nice and secure. Now I've got both couches done, one on the left side, one on the right side. Alright, that's what they look like when you finish. The customer will be very happy.